All right, welcome in, everyone. Today we are diving into something super interesting. It's this link between partnership and joy.
And we're looking at a sermon from Grace United Caledonia.
Yeah, though it's not really like, a straight up theology lecture or
Right,
anything.
not at all.
It's the speaker uses these vivid like stories and analogies and, shares some personal things.
Yeah, it makes it super relatable,
Yeah, not absolutely.
Um, one that really stood out to me was when he talked about a three-legged race. Like, as a way to think about how we partner with God.
That's not your typical sermon illustration.
Right.
But it's such a good one. I mean, it really, you think about it and it's like you have to be in sync, you have to trust each other.
Got to move towards that same goal.
It's collaborative. It's not just one person dragging the other along.
Exactly, yeah. And the speaker's pulling from Philippians here, which is all about finding joy, like even when things are tough.
And that's something we can all relate to. I mean, whether you're on a spiritual journey or not, I think everyone's looking for more joy.
For sure.
So he starts off, the speaker, by being clear about the difference between just happiness and true lasting joy.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that deep, abiding joy, the kind that sticks around, that comes from a committed partnership, a relationship with God.
Interesting.
Yeah, and he uses this cool tech analogy to make his point. He compares it to getting a brand new iPhone.
He brought in something. Like everyone knows, I love that. What do you think he means by that?
Well, he talks about how, you get that new phone and you're opening it up and you're discovering all the features, right?
Mm-hmm.
He says it's kind of like that when we're, discovering the different parts of a relationship with God. As we explore those parts, there's like this whole world of joy and potential that opens up.
Oh, I see. Like those hidden features.
Yeah.
The ones you don't know are there until you start using it.
Mm-hmm.
There's that feeling of wonder, like, oh, what can this do? Maybe he's saying it's kind of the same with faith. There's way more to discover than we think at first.
Exactly. Yeah. And to show us that this is real, like it's not just some theory, he shares his own story about how he found faith. It wasn't some, overnight miracle transformation or anything. He talks about his struggles, his doubts, how it was like this gradual journey for him.
Makes him relatable. Like this isn't just some idea. It's something that actually changed his life.
Absolutely. So after he lays that groundwork, he starts breaking it down, how partnering with God can really benefit us in specific ways. He calls them the apps of this relationship.
Okay, let's hear about those. There's this guaranteed completion app, right?
Yeah.
Where he says God will finish the work. He starts in us.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that one?
I don't know. It's kind of like a weight off your shoulders, isn't it? We don't have to be perfect, all on our own.
Yeah.
It's about that trust that we're not in this alone and that in the end, things will work out as part of a bigger plan.
It's about letting go of control a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not being passive, but admitting that we don't know everything, that there's something bigger at work.
Exactly. And then he talks about the Power of Prayer app.
Right.
So he's basically saying that our partnership with God, it gives us the ability to pray for other people and to actually make a difference in their lives.
So it's spreading love and good stuff out into the world.
Yeah, it's like it challenges us to think bigger than just ourselves. Our connection with God isn't just for us. It's so we can help others too.
That's a great point.
It's like we're given this amazing tool to lift other people up. He even says, even the strongest people need help sometimes. And supporting each other, that's a key part of strengthening the whole partnership.
So he's really emphasizing community here.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to go it alone.
Yeah.
We do better when we connect with others, and support them.
Exactly. And he doesn't stop there. He doesn't just want us to passively accept this partnership. He challenges us to really live a life that's worthy of it.
Yeah, that's something I was wondering about. What does that mean, living a life worthy of the partnership? Like, does he give specific things we should do?
He's clear that it's not about a bunch of strict rules or trying to earn God's favor. It's more about making our actions match up with our values and becoming the best version of ourselves.
It's about making choices that show we're committed to this partnership and trying to live in a way that honors that connection.
Yes. And he's right there with us, He uses his own struggles, his own dedication as examples, and he's encouraging us to press on, even when it gets tough.
I love that. He's not pretending it's all easy,
No.
There's going to be hard parts, but he's showing us that if we stay dedicated to this partnership, it helps us through those hard parts.
And you know what I appreciate?
What's that?
He's so honest about the fact that we're all going to have negativity, doubt,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's part of being human. He even says he struggles with being grumpy.
That's great.
It makes him so real, you know?
Yeah, we all have those days. What matters is what we do when those days come, you know?
Yeah.
Does he have, like, advice on that?
He does. He gives some really practical things based on his own experience. One thing he says is when you're feeling down, try to remember times when God has been faithful to you, when he's kept his promises.
It's about changing your focus, right?
Yeah.
From what's worrying you now to remembering God's love and how he takes care of you.
Exactly. He also says, bring those anxieties, those worries to God in prayer. Let his peace come in and take the place of fear.
It's like handing your burdens to someone you trust,
Mm-hmm.
someone who can share the weight.
Exactly. And he ties us all back to our own struggles with doubt and discouragement, you know, the things we all deal with. He offers a way to find contentment and peace. And it's not about pretending those bad feelings aren't there. It's about having the tools to work through them and find solid ground again.
It's like he's giving us a map, you know, to navigate those tough feelings and showing us that we don't have to do it all alone.
Exactly. And then he gets to this like really key point. True joy, it's not just about believing. It's about actually living out our partnership with God.
Mm-hmm.
And he brings it to life with these really engaging, like down-to-earth examples.
What kind of examples? I'm curious.
Well, he talks about like the simple joy of helping out a neighbor who needs it, or even, you know, when you don't really feel like going to church, but you push through it and then you end up feeling so much better for it.
Yeah, those little things can make a big difference, can't they?
Yeah. Yeah, and he also talks about like the joy of praying for others, you know, and he even brings up the joy that Jesus felt when his disciples, you know, were really embracing their calling. It's like this ripple effect of joy that spreads outward, you know, from our connection with God.
That's a really powerful image, that ripple effect. Like our actions, our choices, they can make a difference, not just for us, but for other people too.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And there's this one story he tells that really stuck with me. He was officiating a wedding, and it was a super foggy day. Like, you couldn't see anything.
Oh, wow.
But then, right at the moment when the couple was about to kiss, this single ray of sunshine broke through the clouds and just bathed them in this beautiful light.
Wow, that's amazing. What do you think he was trying to say with that story?
I think he was using it to show God's personal affirmation, you know, his blessing. Like, even when things seem really dark or uncertain, there's always that light shining through, guiding us towards joy and hope.
Yeah, it shows that this partnership, it's not some distant thing. It's personal, it's real. It can show up in the smallest moments.
Absolutely. It makes you really appreciate those unexpected moments of grace. So looking back at all this, what are some of the key takeaways that stand out to you?
Well, I think one of the biggest ones is that joy isn't like a finish line you cross, you know. It's a journey. It's about getting closer and closer to God and letting that relationship change us, make us better.
And all those apps we were talking about, those aren't just like bonus features. They're like essential tools that we can use to grow, you know, to make a difference and to find true happiness.
And they remind us that we're a part of something much bigger than ourselves.
Yeah. And living a life that's worthy of this partnership, it doesn't mean being perfect. It's about making the effort to live by our values and relying on God's strength when we mess up.
And always trying to learn and grow.
It's like we're constantly updating our partnership software.
I love that.
Becoming better at using those apps and unlocking new levels of joy and purpose.
Yeah, that's great. It really captures how this journey is about growing and changing.
So thinking about all of this, let's bring it back to you, our listener. We've been talking about all these different sides of partnering with God. What really resonates with you?
Out of all those apps we discussed, is there one that you feel drawn to, you know? One that you want to explore more this week?
That's a good question to think about. What part of your relationship with faith feels the most alive right now?
Yeah, where do you see the most potential for growth or for joy?
Maybe take a minute to look at your own faith, you know, and think about the joy that's already there. What's holding you back?
We all have those areas where we could maybe, you know, trust a little bit more, lean in a little further, be more present in that partnership.
What's one small step you could take this week to strengthen that connection?
Remember, even small steps can lead to big changes. It's all about consistency, you know, and making choices every day that show you're committed to this journey.
It's kind of like those fitness trackers, you know? They tell you to get 10,000 steps a day. Sometimes it feels like a lot. But then you realize every step counts. And over time, those little actions, they add up to real change.
It's the same with our spiritual journey. Every prayer, every act of kindness, every moment of reflection, all of it contributes to our well-being and brings us closer to that deep joy the speaker talked about.
It's all about those little choices we make, you know?
Yeah, and what I think he was saying is we don't got to look at faith as like a set of rules or things we have to do.
Right.
It could be more like an adventure.
Yeah.
Journey where you discover things.
Yeah.
All kinds of possibilities.
It's about like changing our mindset.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking it's a burden, we can see it as a blessing.
Right.
Instead of duty, it's delight. What if we really embrace that joy of partnership, you know?
Huh.
Let it like flow into everything we do.
It's a beautiful idea, and it's something we can all do.
Yeah.
Right? This connection with God, it's not some far-off thing we can never reach.
It's right here.
Yeah.
It's in every breath we take, every thought, every choice we make.
It's about tapping into that joy that's already inside us.
Mm-hmm. Knowing that we're connected to something bigger than ourselves.
Knowing that we're loved no matter what,
Yeah.
and that we have a partner who's always there with us.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want you to keep that picture in your mind, you know?
The sunbeam through the fog.
Yeah. Even when things are tough, there's always that light breaking through, leading us towards joy, towards hope, and towards a deeper connection with God.
And you don't have to walk that path alone. Embrace that partnership. Let it light up your journey to a more joyful and fulfilling life.